phone, I'm able to inject keystrokes into the phone. Like, let's say I want to install a virus on your Android or something. I could do that with that device, but I can't tell what you're typing. On your computer, I can tell what you're typing. So these things are wild. And it weighs the same, looks the same, feels the same. You would never know that thing is extremely dangerous.
Ethical hackers, with their advanced skills in securing systems, are constantly on the lookout for new vulnerabilities and threats that may emerge in the digital world.
This looks like something I would use to charge my phone. With a charger, yeah.
And you know, so I have every single charger you can imagine in here,
Okay.
all of them, right? So actually what this is, the reason why I have this little orange thing here is because there is no way I'd ever know that this was a charger. I'm sorry, that this was not a charger without this orange tag, because it is that perfect.
Surprisingly, one of the most overlooked threats today comes from everyday devices, like phone chargers, which can unknowingly become tools for cyber attacks.
So the NSA is selling these for $20,000. And I have a friend, MG, he goes by, who is selling them for, a couple $100 a piece. And I have a bunch of them I can show you. But this one I preloaded with something cool that you'll appreciate.
Okay.
So this is a charger that will work. I could hand this to you and say, hey, here's my charger, man, or replace yours, right? Whatever you got plugged in, I'm sure I have a replacement for that.
A compromised charger can silently install harmful malware on your device, making it crucial for ethical hackers to regularly check their chargers for potential risks.
You bring this home, it could act like a charger forever, but as soon as this plugs in, inside of this tiny little plastic right here, inside of this is a Wi-Fi chip, a mini computer, and this thing emulates a keyboard and can type at 860 characters per second.
Even the most seemingly innocent hardware can be manipulated for malicious purposes, a reality that ethical hackers understand all too well.
It is so dangerous, man. It's just, I have so many gadgets with me, and we probably don't have enough time to go through. I mean, I have literally 50 plus gadgets with me. So yeah, I'll show you a couple of them, but don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, that's a European site that you can buy it from.
Yeah, right there. So it's complete wireless pen testing. Payload platform invisibly embed inside a cable, originally a clandestine NSA tool costing over $20,000. Now available to everyone.
This warning highlights the importance of never underestimating the security risks that come with simple devices, especially in our increasingly connected world.
Yeah, there's a name for it too. I think it was, I can't remember the exact name the NSA was calling it, but you could see the actual government document with the cost for exactly the same thing.
So now what does this do?
So I'm going to show you what it does, but it can monitor your keystrokes. So you can put this in line in between your key.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can put this in line in between your keyboard and your computer. I could put this in straight into your phone. I could put this, I can type keys at, like I said, at 860 words per second. I can leave it there and come back later. This thing has its own Wi-Fi network that I connect to inside of this. And then if you were to, you can match this up to yours and see it's absolutely identical.
100% same thing.
Yeah, so if you didn't have that little orange thing on there, you'd easily lose that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Is the one you have, is that the new design, or is that the...
I couldn't even tell you. This is just...
well, I just meant, is it the woven one, or is that
This is the one that's the Apple one. This is actual Apple.
Okay, so let me show you the Apple one while my computer is booting. I don't know why it's not booted up yet. I have so many of them. He gave me a ton. Yeah, here, look at this one. That is not an Apple charger.
This is the same thing as the other one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so let's just say you give this to somebody you're spying on, okay? They put it to charge. You're now seeing who I'm texting, what I'm doing, videos I'm playing, everything I'm doing, you're seeing all of it.
Not texting, because I can't, but on the computer, yes. Yeah, on the phone, I'm able to inject keystrokes into the phone. Like, let's say I want to install a virus on your Android or something. I could do that with that device, but I can't tell what you're typing. On your computer, I can tell what you're typing. So these things are wild.
$200.
Yeah, per cable,
Who buys them? Who uses them?
While penetration testers use tools for good, it's worth noting that cybercriminals can easily acquire similar devices to carry out malicious activities on unsuspecting users.
So they're intended for penetration testers like myself to do the right thing. But you know, threat actors can buy them as well. All right, so let's get this thing.
They're intended for penetration tests that you do for companies.
Yes. Okay, so make sure everything's plugged in. We're not on any. Yeah, there's no internet here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, and you can see here that without this this orange thing I have on here just so I don't lose it with my actual charger.
Yep.
But I don't have to have that on here. I just don't wanna lose it. So I'm gonna plug this into USB-C, which, you know, you can pick whatever one you want. So that's plugged into USB-C. This side, I'm not gonna connect to anything. I could charge my phone with it. I could do whatever I want with it, but what I'm gonna do is on my phone, I'm gonna go to Wi-Fi. I'm gonna click OMG. Now I just created a network from this cable that's plugged in. It's
so
not
that's
plugged into
we don't have an OMG network here.
No.
Okay.
No, and this is not plugged into anything.
Okay.
So this is creating a Wi-Fi network.
Yep.
I'm gonna go to it in my browser. And then I have an interface here that I can connect with. So I'm gonna go in the file menu, I'm gonna load payload 1. There we go. All right, so ready? Now I'm gonna hit build and run, which I could be very far away from the computer. This is just showing an example of it. See how fast that's typing?
What's it doing?
It's typing PBD
Get
podcast
outta
and
here.
0 day was here.
Get out of
So
here.
that could have been anything.
Yeah.
That could have been a malicious command. That could have been a virus that it downloaded. That could have been anything that I wanted it to be. And I have now remote control over this cable that if I plug right into my phone, watch, plug it into my phone,
Charges.
charging. You would have no idea that this implant is in your house.
Just because there's a Wi-Fi in here?
And more. There's more in there. I'm just simplifying it.
The danger is often disguised. Chargers look, feel, and weigh the same as normal ones. But in reality, they could be packed with harmful exploits.
So this is like a small little computer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it weighs the same, looks the same, feels the same. You would never know that thing is extremely dangerous.
And so this is used for an ethical person to do a penetration test on a company. What does an unethical hacker do with that tool right there?
An unethical hacker can use this tool to steal people's credentials, to monitor and to spy on people, to look through your webcam, to try to get access to your network, to your phone, they're going to do it for they got the bad things. An ethical hacker is going to try to access your computer, to access other computers, to try to take over your company, so that you can show where the weaknesses are, so you can make it better. So it's essentially the same concepts though. But one has a good goal in mind, the other one has, screwing someone over in mind. So the way that I would recommend protecting yourself from this would be with what's called a data blocker, right? So a data blocker is something like this. So there's two things here I want to show you. So you can buy a data blocker for about $5 on Amazon. You can plug any USB device into it, and it's only going to limit it to charging, so that even if it is a malicious cable, it can't be abused. This is funny. So this was kind of a joke that my friend, he made this, but it's a product he sells. It's a data blocker called the Unblocker that blocks these attacks, but also has payloads in it to do the same thing. So it's a USB data blocker and looks just like one, but also does what you just saw. It allows you to inject wireless keystrokes and monitor keys, etc.
To protect against these threats, ethical hackers recommend using data blockers, which prevent unauthorized data access while charging your device in public places.
So that is for what? That is for somebody to protect themselves against what somebody could do them?
Yeah.
And that's how much? $5?
No, this one's like $150.
That's $150.
Yeah, this is...
Who needs that?
I mean, I don't think you need it. I think it's safer to use a real data blocker, pay $5, $10 on Amazon for one. This one's more of just a joke. Like, here's a data blocker that I'll swap yours out with, and then I can inject payloads through your data blocker.
Is that like an RFID or no? That's different.
No, it's different. I'll show you that in a second, actually. And this is the malicious cable detector, which is his other thing, and I feel like I'm promoting the crap out of him right now, and I'm trying.
I'm sure
not
he's
to.
appreciating. I'm sure he's getting a lot of business right now.
Well, I hope so, but he's such a nice guy. He was a help desk guy that ended up doing extremely cool things in the hacking world. But this is a malicious cable detector that he also sells, that if you want to be extra overboard, you can buy, plug it into this, and it'll tell you if it's a malicious cable or not. But Screen Crab, this one's an interesting one. So the cameras aren't set up in a way for me to demonstrate it, but check this out. So you can probably, oh gosh, it's in there. Okay, so this device, if you see on one side, it has USB-C.
Yep.
Which you could do USB-C to USB-A, which is just this little square USB, and then HDMI, and then it also has a little antenna.
Okay.
Right? You don't need the antenna. It also has one other thing here for an SD card, which you can fit right here with, you can put 2 terabytes in this thing, or a terabyte, a lot of storage. Put your HDMI in, put your power in. Every TV, every monitor, for the most part, is going to have a USB port.
Ethical hackers often educate the public on how cybercriminals can steal sensitive information in everyday settings, particularly in places like cafes or public charging stations.
So get a small USB port, a small HDMI, put this in the back of a computer screen or the back of a computer desktop, and you could even put a little post-it note saying like HDMI enhancer or do not remove or IT only, like something that would scare somebody from unplugging it. And this thing can wirelessly, from quite some distance, transmit with almost no delay, in high quality, what's going on the screen. And if you're not within proximity, let's say you go out of the proximity of this antenna, it stores all of that footage on the SD card, which could be, from what I was actually told by a friend, years, depending on the interval of how often it's taking snapshots. So check behind your screens, check behind your computers, look for a device like this, which is like a man-in-the-middle type of device that is capturing your screen. And, there's so much more out there to be scared of, but this is something that you could easily check. If it's there, unplug it and throw it in the trash, call the police, do whatever you got to do. I finished Pen Tester Lab. I did every single badge, and I don't know if he goes by Louis or Lewis, but he does a great job at making his courses. So definitely check out Pen Tester Lab. I fell into TryHackMe right after that. I saw there was a lot of beginner stuff. I wasn't really interested in that, but I was interested in learning things, some of the tool sets that people were using now. But I'm not used to the Linux world. I'm more of a Windows guy, so a lot of the hacking, or whatever you'd like to call it, would be done from Windows. So a lot of the tools I wasn't too familiar with. The CTFs taught me about how to use tools, how to do recon easier and faster. And to answer your other question, I've been doing this for about 17 years now.
One example of dedication in the field is an ethical hacker who spent countless hours grinding through platforms like TryHackMe, mastering every room and gaining full control over complex networks.
So you have been doing hacking, but the CTF thing has been very, very recent thing that you've gone into.
Yeah. So the CTFs have been relatively recent, and I grinded pretty hard on TryHackMe for a while, and you were correct. I've completed the whole site, 100% of it. So
You've done every single level on TryHackMe.
Every single room available and network I've completed, even the rooms that were removed from the site because I was there when they existed. So I've done, I think, like 460 or something. I forget it. It's a ton of rooms.
What got into you to want to do all of them?
Well, at first it was just for fun. And I didn't think there was any possibility I was going to take number one, and gamification is one of them things, I'm not really into it. Some of my friends are, my business partner is. Gamification is just a way to, keep people on a platform. I get it. Every platform does it in this industry, at least.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, it'll catch you. When I saw myself getting onto that leaderboard, I was focusing on trying to get at least the number, 1 through 10 in America, because you can sort by country on TryHackMe. once I got to number 2 in America, which was last year, I was losing by quite a bit. The person in front of me was Sysmix, and I'm sure you've heard of Sysmix, right?
I don't know who that is. No.
Okay, he's really talented hacker as well, and he was beating me by a mile. So I took it. The release schedule changed, but it was Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. There'd be a new challenge release. And if you got the room finished, you'd blood it, same as any other platform, and you'd get more points. So literally for 6-7 months straight, I didn't miss a single release. And as soon as it came out, I was spamming the refresh button. I would start the machine, and like those professional Rubik's Cube solvers that try and smack it down. It's I try to put my mentality in their shoes and try to solve it as fast as I possibly could, because my competition at that, is there's a ton of people competing against me. So I luckily blooded a ton of rooms in a 6 or 7 month period, which gave me a huge advantage. And now I think I'm winning by 10,000 points over the next position. So it's just a lot of grinding and hard work. Okay, so I'll give you a little short synopsis, and if anyone wants to learn more, they can check out my social medias. Facebook is a good way to see my other life. Twitter is the place I've been trying to build to show my hacking life. So I'll start off with the non-hacker stuff, which is addiction. A lot of people don't know, unless they've researched or looked at my social medias, that I owned treatment facilities like rehabs. I had 3 facilities across America. And I had them for about 7 years. I sold them a year and a month ago, as of today. And I was inspired to do that because I got addicted to as a young kid, not as an adult. This was when I was from 13 to turning 17. During that time, from 13 to 17, there wasn't many things. There weren't many resources to learn how to hack or learn how to do anything. I mean, even programming. The only way you were really going to learn that type of thing was going to school for it.
Despite a difficult personal history, struggling with drug addiction and dropping out of high school, this hacker's passion for cybersecurity and commitment to learning has propelled them to success without formal education.
In my case, I had a serious problem, but I would be nonstop on the computer. It's difficult to explain, but I was on the computer nonstop, as well as supporting addiction. I dropped out of high school in 10th grade, so I never had any college or formal education. And but what I did do is I was a respected member of Digital Gangster, which was a forum that was a mixture between affiliate marketers and hackers, and it was run by Whitey Cracker, who's a nerdcore rapper, if anyone here is not familiar with him. And one of my
definitely follow Whitey Cracker. He's a really entertaining dude, and he's a genuinely nice guy.
Awesome guy. I've been, like I said, an old business partner of mine, and he just made a song and shouted me out, and he's an awesome guy. I love him. But back then, there were no CTFs, there were no simulation platforms, there were no, if you wanted to learn something, you needed to do it in the wild or do it locally. And I'm sad to say I got a little bit on the bad side, because I was a kid and not mature enough to make the conscious decision of what a white hat, black hat, gray hat. It just really wasn't a thing back then. You learned from forums, you learned from AOL Instant Messenger, from ICQ, from Skype. I mean, those groups and communities that you were a part of is who taught you. And that's where I started. So to answer the other question prior to me joining the stream, is my mentors, some of them might not have been the best influences, but they taught me a lot. And some of that knowledge, not all of it, because remember, a lot of that knowledge 17 plus years ago and then upcoming that isn't relevant now. But what I think it taught me is how to research and how to figure something out, how not to give up, how to when you feel like there is no possible chance you're going to pull it off, to just keep trying. And 17 plus years of doing that, I think got me to where I'm at now. I mean, I will sit there for 12 hours straight, banging my head against the wall until something works. And that's gotten me to where I'm at right now.